And it's a beautiful thing too. Hold up. Yeah.
Welcome to 3 Count Commentaries. So this is the go-home show for Impact Wrestling Hard to Kill, which will be taking place on Saturday, January the 8th. This, however, is January the 6th, Impact's Wrestling. And this show was better than it had any right to be, mainly because of two matches that I really enjoyed. But there was also some stuff on here that I really didn't like. Oh boy, I really didn't like some stuff on this show. All right, so let's start it out. 6-woman tag: Tasha Steelz, Chelsea Green, and Lady Frost defeat Rosemary, Rachel Ellering, and Jordan Grace, as Chelsea Green pinned Rachel Ellering. This match was supposed to be a preview for the Ultimate X match. And then we find out later that Alicia Edwards will be replacing Rachel Ellering, and we don't know why Rachel Ellering was taken out of the match. So Alicia Edwards will now be taking her place. This is all very weird. This is all very weird. The match itself was nothing. I really didn't pay attention to it. I am amazed at Jordan Grace's her body change. I am very impressed in what she's been able to do with herself. She was very pudgy 2 years ago. Now she's looking pretty good. So big ups to her and her body transformation. So Moose cuts a promo. To shorten it, he basically said he did despicable things to get where he is, and he do some evil things to keep it. And he pissed off some pretty dangerous men, but he's going to prove at Hard to Kill that he's the most dangerous man in the business. All right, to keep up with that theme, let's go ahead and talk about Matt Cardona. So, Matt Cardona says that he blamed Moose and Chelsea Green as well. Well, I should say Chelsea Green also blamed Moose. And Chelsea Green believes that the whole thing about Matt hitting her with a chair was a plot by Moose. It was engineered by Moose to get in Matt's head, to mess with him and to distract him from winning the world title. And he said that he's going to do anything he can to win. And Chelsea Green said she was fine because she is a wrestler and she's been hit with chairs before. And I was like, well, that's a good way to blow off that heat, isn't it? Morrissey was also there cutting promos and said that he reiterated his gimmick, which is that he was alone. He doesn't need any fans, any friends, or any supporters, that everybody loves you when you're on top. And that when he first came to Impact, he had nobody. He needed nobody. He had nothing. And then for some odd reason, he decided to form an alliance with Moose. And he said that was a mistake. Then he dropped Moose, and all of a sudden, everybody wants to be his fan again. He said he doesn't need any fans. He doesn't need anybody. He's going to win the world title all on his own by himself. And taken individually, these promos are fine. As a overarching narrative, I think they do a good job of telling us what the motivations of each character is. And of course, kind of informing the characters of what these guys are supposed to be. Moose is one of the most diabolical individuals in the world right now, I guess. And it comes through in his promos and the way he even cuts the promos. How there's, dark, how he's very deliberate in what he says. Even with the lisp and everything, he comes across as being very serious about this. Matt Cardona still comes across as kind of the plucky young baby face. And that's fine. And Morrissey is just the third wheel. I still have no idea what the hell he's even doing in this match. So, all right, taken together, those promos were fine, I guess. Then we get Jonah versus Jake something. Big, meaty men slapping meat. I like this match. And I'm very depressed. Not depressed. Let's use a better word. Disgusted that Jake something versus Jonah, which could have been, money if they put the right push on Jake, is instead a throwaway match for Jonah on this television show. And it still turned out to be pretty good. Basically Jake was there. He's taller than Jonah, thick. and was able to get in there and really, lay some leather in on Jonah. Of course, Jonah is the guy that they're building, so he wins with the big tsunami splash on the top rope. After the match, Josh Alexander ran in and they had a bit of a scuffle. I don't think they really have fights in Impact. They just have scuffles. So they were broken up by security, where Josh Alexander got free and threw some punches on Jonah. Then Jonah ran across the ring and crushed the security guards, Josh Alexander, and everybody else in the corner. It was a pretty badass spot. Then he placed Jake on the table and tsunami splashed him from the top of the table, from the top rope. Pretty violent spot. I dug it. Later we see Josh Alexander's in the trainer's room. He's holding his ribs and he's got an ice pack on that baldy of a head of his. And they're kind of like, is Josh Alexander going to be in 100% this Saturday? I'm like, come on, this shit was taped like a month ago. Yeah, he'll be all right. I liked his build up. I think somebody asked me on a Q&A once if there were some guys that I think could probably use a higher profile. And I should have thought of Jake something, because there's just something there with him. He is a prototypical guy that they really should be pushing. He should be like the Alexander Hammerstone of Impact. Why he's not? He's just gigantic and muscular for no reason. It just makes no fucking sense to me. Come on, it's staring you right in your goddamn face. Come on, dude. Marcia Slamovich defeats Sandra Moon. This was I think both of their debuts. Marcia Slamovich looks like something out of Final Fight. Steve Macklin, he cut a promo. Talked about how he's the man who's never been beaten. And he's never been pinned, never been submitted. Wanted the title shot, now he finally is going to get it. Of course, Scott D'Amore, when he asked before, Scott D'Amore said no, but he's heard the word no his whole life. He has other ways around that, and tricked Trey Miguel into asking Gail Kim for the title shot, and she says yes, and said that Gail Kim made a mistake. Apparently, Gail Kim was eavesdropping on this conversation, on this promo, because she saddled up behind him and said, "Did you say that I made a mistake?" I'm like, fail, Gail, everything about you is a mistake. In any event, she said that if Macklin loses, he'll never get another shot as long as Trey is the champion, which is almost guaranteed that Macklin's going to win the belt. Almost a guarantee. Mickie James joined commentary as she's going to do commentary for Deonna Purrazzo versus Mercedes Martinez, which was a really good match, best match on the show. Mercedes Martinez had a pretty deep submission hold on Deonna Purrazzo. Matthew Ray Waltz, her butler, gimmick, valet, whatever, distracted the referee. Of course, Mercedes Martinez let it go in order to fight him off. After that, Deonna Purrazzo targeted the arm of Mercedes Martinez, and of course, Deonna Purrazzo wins by submission because Mercedes Martinez was going to get that AEW Jacksonville Dixon money. Go get that money. Afterwards, Mickie James checked on Mercedes Martinez. Even though Mercedes Martinez turned heel on her, they still have that respect, towards each other. Then she got into the ring and stood off, with a stare down with Deonna Purrazzo. They are under this no touching rule, so they didn't touch each other. I look forward to their match at Hard to Kill. I think that match is going to kick ass. Everything they've done so far with just the two of them has been very good. Then we get to the really weak part of the show, the inspiration. Oh my God. This was awful. This is so bad. They're doing a parody of Tennille Dashwood's show. They're doing a parody of the Influence in general. They're hanging out with this Jay Vidal guy, and they calling him Jay with an I, to, of course, spoof Caleb with a K. They're calling their show All About I or something like that, which is a parody of Tennille's show All About Me. They don't have guests, which is a parody of Tennille's show, because she also doesn't have guests. To be quite honest, I think Tennille is the guest on her show all the time, and she just brings people in to do questions. ultimately, the inspiration or the influence comes in, and they make fun of them for ripping them off and, stealing their ideas and stuff like that. Then, for some reason, they started pulling on Jesse's hair. Jesse is Billy Kay, right? So they start pulling on her hair. Then they have a tug of war over the tag team belts, which the influence tried to take from around their waist. So they're just pulling back and forth. And the guys are on the couch, stretching on the couch like, Rick James or whatever, and basically playing footsie. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, I literally looked away for a moment, and it turned into a goddamn kindergarten class. I'm like, what the fuck? Get this shit off TV immediately. This is super annoying. Everybody on this TV is annoying as fuck right now. Like, this is uncalled for. Thankfully, by the time I really got to tripping, it was over. But I was like, oh, hell, holy hell. What kind of shit is this? This is not good. This is trash, bruh. It's trash. Match 5. Ace Austin and Madman Fulton actually win a match. They defeated Hernan Daddy and Johnny Swinger when Ace Austin and Madman Fulton beat up on Hernandez. They did like an elevated splash on him. After the match, they continued to beat up on Hernandez and then crushed his arm with a chair and with 2 chairs, rather, basically like a chair toe on his arm. Johnny Swinger left Hernandez alone to get beat up, and the crowd chanted that Swinger was a coward, which of course makes perfect sense. Him and Hernandez were just becoming friends too, and he went ahead and abandoned them. That's sad to see. Sad to see that old Johnny Swinger left his boy Hernandez out in the rain like that. The main event of the show was the winner of this match. With his team would have the advantage in the Hardcore War. For those of you who don't know, the Hardcore War, I think, is a war game style match that they're going to be doing. It's going to feature the Good Brothers and Violent by Design versus Heath Slater, Rhino, Willie Mack, Rich Swann, and Eddie Edwards. Eddie Edwards has to be involved with every fucking thing. The match itself was Heath versus Carl Anderson. The winner, his team will get the advantage. Carl Anderson wins the match. It was actually quite boring. I didn't care about that match at all. So the show was bolstered by Jonah versus Jake something, which I was really interested in. I actually stopped what I was doing to watch that because I was like, wait a minute. My boy Jake something is only on TV like once every 6 months. And, he's in a match that I found to be quite interesting. Even though I knew he was going to lose, I wanted to see how he was going to perform, and he did quite well, I think. Deonna Purrazzo of Mercedes Martinez, of course, very good. Really enjoyed that. I would have preferred if that was the main event of the show. I get it that, you want to have your stakes as the main event, but I would have preferred to have the name value. So all in all, pretty pitiful, except the 2 matches that I really enjoyed. No cool segments or anything like that either. So I guess we got some space to do news. So apparently Matt Stryker is no longer with Impact. He tweeted out that he was hate to see his Impact run end like this. And anything is better than Josh Matthews, because Josh Matthews is booty butt cheeks. It's just not good. He's awful. He is the worst play-by-play man in the business. And right next to him is D'Lo Brown, who couldn't sound more dry, more unenthused, more bored to be there. I hate D'Lo Brown on commentary. He is the shits. He is the shits over an open fire. I cannot stand the man. Can't stand the man. He might be a nice guy, and that might be part of the problem. It might just be too nice to be doing commentary. Another piece of news is that Rohit Raju apparently is now a free agent and is also done with Impact. And my response to that, praise God! I hate Rohit Raju. Who cares? We're better off without him. I do not care about Rohit Raju one teeny tiny bit. Not one iota. I couldn't give a fucking atom about Rohit Raju. he can fuck right on off. You feel me? Dude, boring as hell. You know, boring. Get rid of all these boring guys. You know, hopefully the Ring of Honor fire sale can really help the Impact roster. I'm gonna keep saying it until it actually does. There's got to be somebody, at least a couple of somebodies on that roster that you want to bring in. For Christ's sake, there's got to be some guys. Maybe even the Dojo Boys. You know, freaking bring Joe Keys in or something. I don't know, but he definitely can do better than Rohit Raju. All right, let me know what you guys thought about this show. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel, donate to the channel. Thank you guys for your time. I'll talk to you guys later, man. Peace out.
Mongo Slave. Best house I ever drew, Daddy.